What's up, everybody? What's up? All right, so let's see. I'll go ahead and alert everybody. Damn it. All right. Good evening. Good evening. What's up, everybody? What's up, Tommy? All right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and post this link. All right. Oops. All right, 1 second. Let me change this audio. There we go, bro. Okay. All right, cool. My mic is muted, or my silencer is working. Alrighty, guys. So I'm no delay. Those of you who are just joining us, I'm just gonna dig right into this. So, first off, just looking back on the day, we had the S&P and the Dow close at new highs. Nasdaq actually fell 0.16%. DE was up. Deere up 2.51%, and Cat, one of the plays that we caught this morning a couple of different times, was up 3.55%, and VMC up 3.24%. Of course, this is probably due to our infrastructure bill. So, healthcare was the only sector to close significantly lower. Financials and materials rallied just south of 1%. Matic moved up 16% in crypto. So did VTHO. Our bot actually called that out in the chat. 31% on that one. Upstart rose 26.1% to close at all new time highs after earnings last night, but they did fall a little bit today. So we saw space fall 12.7% today. DOCS, which I did not catch, was up 33% as well. So closing prints, S&P up 25% or 0.25%. Russell up 0.16 or down 0.16%, excuse me. Russell or the tongue-tied. The Qs, excuse me, down 0.16%, Russell up 0.59%, and the Dow Jones up 0.62%. Real quick, Bumble had earnings today. Revenue was around 186 million, up 38% year over year. EPS, earnings per share, was around 6 cents versus the 2-cent estimate, and paying users were up 20% year over year. The press release right here, if anybody's interested, and I can post the link on that one. Let's go see how they behaved in after hours really quick. Curious. Oh, shit. They didn't really move, kind of pulled back. Interesting. Okay, so anyway, we had Sonos as well, SONO. Revenue was 378.7 million, up 52% year over year. Earnings per share was 12 cent versus the 17-cent estimate. They actually moved up around 8% after hours. Of course, Ride had earnings. The revenue was $0. EPS was around 61 cents versus the 49-cent estimate. And I believe, yeah, they actually popped in after hours here up to six bucks. Alrighty. Let's see here. So one thing that is still creeping up, and also something to keep in mind, tomorrow. So we saw SPY react positively from the CPI data, which was not too bad. Atlas kind of covered that this morning. But we have PPI and core PPI data coming out tomorrow, initial claims and continuing claims. And as you can see here, these are all high impact. And these come out at 8:30. So we will get the general sentiment before the market, which is nice. And speaking of sentiment, we're going to go ahead and close in on our major ETFs before going ahead and taking a look at the watch list. Of course, Blink is on that watch list, but Neo too. So let's go ahead and take a look at SPY. We're going to go ahead and full screen for this. So one thing that was right on cue today with SPY. We've been holding this support going back to July 19th. Kind of running up here, you can see pretty well, are held pretty well. This range, that's basically what we broke out, retested, and we held. But if you'll notice, we also retested the same our support, right? So now that support is acting as our resistance. So tomorrow, if we see continuation, depending on if we gap up, CPI data will have a lot to do with that. 444, or yeah, 444.65 is around the price mark that we could see SPY with a really, really strong push tomorrow. That is the resistance nearest to us. And of course, I can't predict whether that data, we'll cover that in the morning as it comes out. So you guys make sure you join us tomorrow morning. Those of you on YouTube and stuff. Likely will be up a little bit earlier again, so make sure to stay tuned for that one. JMIA actually had earnings today as well. They fell in after hours, but still holding and respecting this previous support turn resistance. So I still have my eyes on those, by the way. Just forgot to mention that. Anyway, so got the SPY. Qs. We didn't even really get a retest of, oh shit, of that very same resistance turn support. This one fell through. We retested that level of 368 and then rejected, and now we are basically sitting at that low. So I'm curious to see if we kind of fall back down tomorrow, and I kind of already see this resistance forming here, or this support, excuse me. Sorry, I'm tired. So 364.40, somewhere in this range here. And if you go back, you can kind of set a level as well, right around here. And so you can see that that could be around that 364.50 level that we bounce off of on the Qs. We did see some relatively bullish flow going into some Q related stocks. So I'm curious to see if we see that movement, because if you look at the 4-hour on the Qs, and this is that major reversal pattern that we talked about. We talked about if we rejected the 369, that we would likely get pushed back under the support. So at the moment, that is what is happening. And if you go out and look at this massive channel, that's on, excuse me, that the Qs are currently contained inside of, you'll notice that the whole ribbon indicator is completely thinned out. Any day this thing is going to turn red. The MACD is just ready to flip. Volume was relatively high on the last two selling days than it was on the way up. But being that we're at the top of this channel, it makes more sense to me that we could see a relief bounce, but I am not switching my status to bullish at all. The only thing that I can say today is that we did utilize the 20-day EMA, and I'll adjust this so you guys can see it a little bit better. But we did tap off of that 20-day EMA, which is well respected when the Qs are in trend. So if it closes below today's low, around 364.80, or let's go get an accurate mark on that one. So yeah, today's low was around 364.81, and it breaks that mark that we talked about, then we could see that whole ribbon indicator flip, and then considerable, I don't know, Qs might see some downside here, being that they're inside of that channel. The target, or the 200-day EMA, where usually if the Qs break trend, we'll see that'll be as a bounce zone for the Qs. So I'm watching the 200-day EMA if we continue this downtrend as a potential bounce spot. So let's see here. Now we got the Qs, Dow. Dow broke out today. That one climbed above the whole ribbon indicator. I think the industrial bill, well, I don't think the industrial bill likely is what put this one out of this little channel we've been trading in forever. It's been really aggravating because it's been day after day that the Dow has just been trading in here. So as far as the Dow being at all-time highs, of course, volume, the infrastructure bill could be that next leg up for them. A lot of the stocks like CAT breaking downtrend today, and also getting above that 4-hour 200-day EMA. We may see a EMA crossover here. Volume is exactly what I want to see when I'm looking for a change in trend. So hopefully we see continuation there on CAT with the Dow, as that's a pretty fun stock to play. So IWM. So IWM is just wild. So this one got pushed back under. I thought it was going to break support. Didn't break support and is now bouncing back up. I expect to see continuation on IWM. You can see here this whole ribbon indicator also flipping green. So we could see the if we break this let's see 224.50 level, I think that we could see the 226. It's that top channel here. I'm thinking we could see 226, 228 the next couple of days here. So kind of unusual. I don't expect this trend. You can see here that in this channel that IWM is, it just continues to bounce but never breaks out of this range. So still worrisome in the long run. And as you can see, this 200-day EMA is kind of creeping up there. So definitely something to keep your eye on. All right, let's see here. Yo, yo, yo. Yes, I can absolutely chart Tesla. Yeah, sure. I can chart that if you guys want to hop in here. That way you can see my screen. Oh, you know what? What's up, Brian? Um, big step. Yeah, big steps like the cat tomorrow as well. All right, guys. So, DT. I don't know if anybody saw. I wasn't able to grab this one, but we saw a 11.19 $65 strike for DT. And this is, I'm just going to go over a brief watch list with you guys, and we'll go ahead and get to the request. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this chart on GT, and I haven't gotten a chance here to look. So this is Goodyear Tire, trading at 17 buckaroos. So this one I had earnings as far, yep. So I haven't seen the numbers on that one, but it's very obvious that this one is changing trend. You got to bounce off of that 200-day EMA. You gapped up on earnings, whole ribbon indicator flip here as well. So we could see some decent, right? Wait, hold on. Did I get that right? That can't be right. Oh, I got GT. I was about to say, whoa, $65 strike. It's all of a sudden I was like, wait, hold on. Do I have the right strike price here? Okay, anyway, not GT, DT. Yes, this is my first time looking at this one. So anyway, DT, $65 strike, 11.19, and $1.47 million going in. This one came in at 355. So looking at the chart on DT, GT, that's the dyslexia. Sorry, guys. Okay, so $65 strike. Right now we're sitting at 63. Hmm. Let me go see. So really, if it doesn't bounce tomorrow, looking at where it's at on trend, this thing is at that support level. So take a look here. You got that hourly 200-day EMA here. So I am going to, and this is about where I'm going to leave this. I am setting a alert around 63.50. I'm also setting an alert around 64.45 because this one, we actually saw a similar call come in on Visa. But just a simple retest of its resistance or downtrend would put it up at 64.50. So if it ended up breaking downtrend, this call would likely go in the money anyway. So so Blink is one that had earnings today. And as you can tell, this one has been trading in this channel here for a while. I'm going to be watching this one potentially for downside. Apparently they missed. I'm going to have Atlas go over the numbers with you guys tomorrow, because really pre-market is going to be the most important. And really there's no use covering this one after earnings when it really hasn't made a move in either direction. It looks as if it's going to break to the downside, but I want to see where it moves in pre-market. So this one right now, I'm just letting you guys know, I'm setting alert at 34.33. And I'm also setting an alert at that low of 34. Anywhere past that, and we're going to go ahead and take Blink to the downside. Also, most fuel cell, those type pulled back today as well. So we already saw some significant downside, and the reason, or one of the major things here, is that we're at that 200-day EMA here, and we're at that date, that support, that channel support here. So I am watching Blink to the downside tomorrow. Let's see here, and I'll look at you guys' tickers in just one moment. One ticker that I also want you guys to keep an eye on is GNOG. This one is slowly but surely been creeping up. 1925 is that previous high here. Daily, right now it's got a massive, absolutely massive gap. I'm not quite sure if it's going to break out of the range that it supposedly is going to get acquired from. But I am watching this one for potential continuation. It might do well that they have a big company like TKNG behind them. Hence, feel free to hop in here, guys. I'll take a look at it. Can I chart Baidu? Yeah, for sure. Do you think mRNA will have a dead cat bounce tomorrow? What are my thoughts? We'll take a look at that here in just a moment, okay? Alrighty. So other than GNOG, I saw that Scooter was playing GRWG. If I'm kind of jealous. Um, let's see here. Cat. So Big Step and I caught this one today. I got, I think around 9:45 was my first fill. I actually went red on this one. Like just for a brief moment. And then we ended up getting a really strong move, as you can see on the hourly. We'll go to the 5 minute. Yeah, so this one ended up flagging out, bounced really strongly off of that 9:15.97, cruising up, hit that same resistance, but on that pullback, it wasn't much of a rejection. It was just sitting flat, and then volume, right? So right towards, I think it was getting close towards the end of the day, volume picked up substantially. But one thing that I always do is, especially when I'm watching a stock, is I take a step back and I look at, and this is something, guys, tomorrow I'm going to be watching the small account. If you have a small account and you made it one of your rules that you only play stocks when they have unusual volume, I think that your winning percentage would likely go up. Obviously, it matters execution wise, but if you know that a stock has a catalyst, the catalyst here for CAT is an infrastructure bill that is going to channel trillions of dollars towards the construction and development of America's roads, bridges, et cetera, and we need equipment. These guys provide it, et cetera, et cetera. So that is something that you guys should keep in mind, because the volume today was representative of the move that we had, and it was a really strong move, and I'm really happy with that trade for sure. So I want to go over AMD, and I also want to talk to you guys about something I think has been a general question. So in the morning, for the most part, now we see setups, right? There's different trigger points, right? If you're new and you're on Robinhood and you're trying to scalp with us at the bell, you are going to have a really hard time. Um, the whole process to get in and out of a contract, if you know how to do it and it works for you, more power to you. But as far as from my experience and from most people's experience, the more serious you take this, the less serious you take Robinhood, because Robinhood, it's you can't, I mean, hotkeys are one, right? So being able to jump in and out of a trade, exit quickly, uh being able to get a good fill, right? Um, uh, First of all, I mean, some of the brokers that we use still sell their order flow, um, but just a less shady platform that's likely not going to hold on you or restrict your buying and selling of certain shares. Um, and then on top of that, being able to roll out or extend your contracts. It's the malleability of your positions that uh, it becomes more accessible whenever you have a good broker. And so, TradeStation, TOS, E-Trade, something that's not Robinhood. And so going further into this, AMD this morning was a scalp. All right. So we had a great setup. Okay. And it still is a pretty good setup. We're above the whole ribbon indicator for the first time in this downtrend. I don't know why I have all these lines. What happened here? Um, and we got a basically a breakout and a retest. Okay, so we're holding the 20-day EMA. We can go either way out of the pennant. Um, Obviously, we had a TTM squeeze popping off today. Volume still high, right? So you take a look at the volume here. So still really high on this volume. There is the potential that we could see a leg up, but what what we're aiming to do, for those of you who are new or those of you who are just joining, um, what we're aiming to do is get in and out of a position quickly, usually by buying a handful, 10, 20 contracts, depends on your size and position. If you scalp at the bell and you have a $500 account, chances are that you're going to have to be happy with like a 30 to, $100 gain at the most. And you're just going to have to keep doing that and be very, tight and restrictive. But going into AMD, guys, if this thing is meant to go up, then it's likely going to be held down. So hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, I'll get to that in just a minute. All right. So anyway, AMD is still on watch tomorrow. We're not going to make any assumptions. If anybody is still holding AMD, it's bilateral right now. So it literally can go either way. You can see here it's likely going to extend itself. So I want to see confirmation. I'd like to go to here to the hourly, and I'd like to see it above 108.25. So I'm setting the alert there now. 108.25, good volume, hopefully a push there. Now, if volume is not comparable to the previous days and anybody's still holding on to anything, if your contracts go green and you're heavy, you need to trim exposure at that point. That's where I would be trimming exposure. Is once and just because you may end up going green, it doesn't give you a good reason to bag hold something that could go right back into the red. So here, oh yeah, trust me. I have a lot of alerts on UPS. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and update you guys more on anything else that I'm watching tomorrow after I see pre-market movement. As far as scalping, so probably in the middle or the beginning of the day, but probably more than likely going to be scalping tomorrow. So, if you guys are playing with me in the morning, I'm going to be try to be on early. So if you guys are interested in playing any pennies, also while I'm talking about pennies, if you're having trouble getting options down, it's totally okay to buy equity and play pennies. You're not going to get crazy run up. You're not going to get the same options play. But if you need to take a step back and do something else, you can still use the same strategies and the same setup, and you can practice scaling in and scaling out. So, alrighty. So, thank you. Why are you in here? Thank you for your contribution to the chat, my guy. Let me just great. Awesome. Um okay. Yeah, I mean those get paid, buddy, so it's all good. Um anyway, so we have A and B set up. We've got uh let's see here. What was the next one that we wanted to take a peek at? Tesla. Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna go down the line. We got Tesla, mRNA, Baidu, CX, Zev. Already got Cat, MLM. Um, AMD is a bullish pivot. Not necessarily. Hold on a second. I mean, you could consider this a pivot coming from a downtrend as well. So yeah, we're day traders, so that's the difference. And the money that I make, day trading goes into long-term equity. So thank you. So some guy named the Stockfather is on my stream telling me that I should just buy and hold stocks. I I had never I didn't think about. Did you guys think that? I totally forgot about that. Forgot about just hold. I what? I holding? Never heard of it. Alrighty. So let's go into. Can you guys hear me okay? I got too close to the fire last week, learned my lesson, listen to this. Yeah, Brian, to next, and it's okay to experiment with that stuff, so that way you get a better a feel for it. So all right, so let's go ahead and sink our teeth into Tesla. So I talked about this, I've said it now a couple of times. Until it breaks range, leave it alone. It's gonna pop, it's gonna drop, it's gonna fake you out, it's gonna take your money, and it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So the best thing that you can do is one, go set up your pivots, right? If you really right now, Tesla's at a pivot point. That's where it's sitting. It's on top of a pivot point. So wait for it to make the move, because when it does, it's going to make a move, right? It's been consolidated for how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. 8 days of consolidation with a range of 722 down to 703, which isn't that much for Tesla. Um, those of you who are looking to day trade, if you're in weeklies, guys, be careful, because wait for that volume to come in. If you, like I'm going to say it again, if you waited every time for your trades, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it does go up, right? If you waited only for the best volume, the finest volume in all the land, not shit. But if you wait for that volume, that's likely where you're going to find your most or your biggest wins. And I was talking to somebody, and if you're writing down, I have all the fills that I've taken, contracts that I bought. I write them down, even though it's on. I write them down so they're there in front of me. And going, I can always write the date, or I do write the date. I can go back and I can look at the volume. So if I ended up red and it has low volume, I have nobody to blame but myself, right? If it's up and it's got good volume and it faked out, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. But more than likely, if you wait for that good volume, you're gonna get a good move. So to stop lecturing you guys on Tesla, I know you just shut it. Uh, right now, R1 on the daily, pivot on the hourly, you're going to need to see at least a push up around 7. I'm marking it as 716.75. It's a safer entry for me. And like I said, it's so pent up and it could continue to consolidate. And that's the main thing that I'm trying to get across is this thing back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days stayed in range. And it could go and bounce off the whole. It all depends. So uh, but anyway, tight in range. I would go ahead and say put the number at 700. Below 700, you're likely going to see a retest to 693, 694. That's that HMA and whole ribbon indicator. The pivot right now is lined up at 669, which is also that 20-day EMA. So Tesla looks not that great in the sense that it has very, very low volume. And that's probably the most important thing. I know that's probably all I talk about, but it's the most important thing. You can see just super low volume here. And as soon as any type of in CPI data, anything that's gonna and also keep in mind that SPY is moving up and Tesla is not. So that's something to keep in mind for sure. DM me, Sanchez. Shoot me a DM. I gotta quit. Sorry. All right. So go down here hourly real quick. Oh shit, turn the pivot points off because they squish your chart. Looks like below 7, maybe around 702. Be careful. You do have a gap, right? There's a gap starting, I guess you could say 702. There's a gap, and that gap goes all the way to line up with that 200-day EMA at 696. So set your alerts. Also, if you have TradingView, you can only set but so many alerts until you upgrade for the full thing. But make sure that if you can't set a ton of alerts, that you have them on whatever brokerage you have, and just have them at those major breakpoints. So that way you don't have to stare at the chart all day or look at. And also, let me say something as well. If you have a slow mover or something that's just not, it's if the 5 is weird, please make sure that you guys are taking a step back and doing multiple time frame analysis. Um, the hourly is going to tell you a Unity was another trade that was taken today, and that was just a slow high volume but super slow roller, and I'll watch it again tomorrow above 120.75. But anyway, so Tesla was one. Yes, the most exquisite volume, thank you. Yes. All right, 1 second. Ben, good question. I'm happy to get to that question really quick. Okay, mRNA, Baidu, CX. Not. All right, let's go over here to this. Ooh, I mean, it doesn't look great right now. Let's go up here. Um, I want to say yes. It looks like it will get a small bounce. It's got to at some point. It's been, I mean, that's really, really red. Yeah, you could see it bounce to 4, catch up with those moving averages there. 388.85. The 200-day EMA is at 392.15. Um, you do look like you're going to get a MACD rollover as well. So yeah, sure. On Instagram or whatever. Alrighty. Moderna. I would just make sure you set your levels 3. Obviously, yesterday or today's low. Um, Really a big bounce zone. I mean, this is a bounce zone for sure for mRNA, but you can see it's not showing any signs of real strength yet or anything. I could see 364, 363 before you actually end up getting a good bounce. So you may end up wicking there before you end up bouncing and then making your way back up to this resistance. So watch the 20 and the 50-day EMA on that hourly time frame as well. Baidu. Um, Simple Stacks investing. This one right here. Should be the same one. I gotta put that in my link tree. Okay. So without even looking at it, Baidu, I think we saw it falling today. Um, so this one, I'm not really and I've told everybody pretty much I'm not for a scalp, I'm sure it's good. I'm not touching it because it is so range bound, and the reason why is because it's waiting for news. As soon as we get some type of relief in the China FUD, then maybe, but as you can see, for weeks and weeks now, we have been trading in range. So I personally recommend that if you want to play this, you take the safe range. It will break 170 when sentiment returns. And if it doesn't, then we fall and we continue to fall and use 155, 54. I got your DM. I see it right there. It's on my literally just went up on my phone. I'll get back to you. Okay, so Raphael. Okay. I just got your DM as well, man. We'll I will set alerts all over this. And let's have a little talk so that way we can get on the same page as to what's going on. Um, and again, I'll be primarily focused on my small account tomorrow. I know Justin's really busy right now, so I'm going to be focused on taking those small account plays. I'm going to be focused on finding the momentum. I will wait 30, 40 an hour until the right play sets up. Patience, and we'll go from there. So, alrighty. So let's do. That's funny. Okay, so we got CX Zev. CX, is that what is that? Infrastructure play. Somebody asked me about this the other day. This one looks like IWM. Why does it look like that? Okay, so as far as your lower time frame, I can tell you that you've broken downtrend, nice retest. Looks like you might get a 200 or EMA crossover. Right now, you've broken that hourly 200-day EMA and you're retesting it. Um, this is kind of your last. I think you really need to see a reversal here. Volume is nothing crazy, but the TTM squeeze is pushing here quite a bit. So I would watch this one as long as it holds that $8 mark. I would just keep your eyes on it for a push above its today and the last 3 days highs. Right there around that 817. But the one thing that's disappointing or tough, I guess, if you will, is well, you could, it's good in a way because if it bounces here, then maybe you see, at a minimum 860, maybe even 885. But it is well within this channel here. So it's going to be likely some type of earnings catalyst, which I don't know what is that is, or what how they did, or what they do, like specifically if it's just concrete, whatever the case may be. All I know is that um, when something trades in range like this, it's just not fun to play. And I mean, the range is wide if you're okay with taking those penny plays, but pulling this down, this is still a viable support as well. And what you have here is likely a standard deviation channel. Yep, oh yeah, money. So these are corrections, and that's a standard deviation channel. So there it is. So that's where we're at the moment. So you got to see a break above 820, or you're likely going to go pull back and consolidate a little bit more. Ford going off in private eye guy. Ford is going off in a few days. Same with Apple. I'll when I see it, I'll believe it. I mean, Apple's squeezing up hard, so I'm gonna set alerts all over it. But I don't believe it until it does the thing that I want it to do. All right. 150 is going to be tough. All right, so we got Baidu, CX, Zev, pins. Okay, so Zev is going to be tough as far as charting, but likely is going to consolidate. This one I'm long on, and I'm gonna keep holding. Put a put isn't bad below $10. Below $10, we're gonna see 950, but the nearest bounce zone is $10 for Zev. So obviously it's a penny stock, so you're not, or not a penny stock, but it's one of those cheaper stocks, and it's coming off of a news catalyst. So let it start building a little bit of stability. Let that volume kind of settle down, and then see which direction it starts heading. So does look like it's possibly going to see more downside. All right. Pens. Oops. All right. So pens is a hot crock of garbage right now. Um, so maybe, and I mean a big maybe you're reversing here. Maybe you utilize this space to reverse. So you might have this like kind of tough falling wedge ordeal, but I don't really I see a gap. I think the last time we looked at Pinterest, where's the daily? Hold on one second. Okay, so you do have a gap down at 48.57 for pens, and that ends all the way at 46. This gap has already been filled, but there is just a tail of it, 52.17 to 50.80, somewhere in that range. So there's still the level of 54.75 that you could potentially bounce off of. It is a bit oversold, so I think if anything, another bounce. You're seeing kind of the same movement from UPS. So you see UPS just sitting flat there, letting those EMAs catch up. And with that, I guess I'll just cover this one. So UPS guys trying to figure out whether it's going to go for a retest here. Volume is stayed consistent. You're getting big, decent spikes. I think dividends could be where we see another move made here on UPS. It has the massive gap below it, of course, 189.75, and then it has that level at 170 or 179.95 that it could potentially fill. So, all right. 305 Monkey, we did take a look at Blink at the beginning of the stream. Yes, I will look at Starbucks. I'm making my way downtown, walking fast. I'm not going there. All right, so we got UPS. Yuck. Pinterest, MLM. We'll go ahead and keep looking at UPS though. UPS, if it pops, 146.45. Gap starts there at 148. Big gap down below, 200-day EMA at 186.56. So everything looks pretty bearish on it overall. I will admit. All right, so I think it's more likely to fill a gap down than it is up first. Alrighty, so let's take a peek. MLM. Wow. Okay. So if this is all-time highs, the only thing that I can really, and I don't even, I'm not sure why volume is my volume on right now. Do I have volume? There it is. Wow, I was about to have a panic attack. I somehow deleted my volume. Okay, anyway, so it looks like you're taking off here on earnings, right? So you had earnings here, didn't lose any ground. Whole ribbon indicator looks great. I would suspect, I mean, I would suspect that one, volume is going to be your number one indicator here as you're basically in pricing exploration mode. Um, Looking at the hourly here, it does look like you're kind of losing a little bit of strength. You got 3 hourly candles here that kind of pull back and don't make a higher high, but a retest of around 384.50. This thing, I think it's probably, yeah. So let's draw support off of this swing low here, right? So let's make sure we got that lined up. So I would anticipate, because this was like a pretty nice cup and handle, that I mean you could end up running into the 400s or 398s and then slowly taper back down into the support. But um it's gone, it's ripping. So I mean honestly it's a day by day thing where you kind of evaluate the volume. You know, just dig into it and do as much DD as you can. So but again, it's already breaking out, so or broken out. Um, does GRWG smash earnings? It's a good ass question, my guy. So GRWG is a longtime favorite of mine. And I mean, I'm curious to see if we could. I guess we probably get most of these here. Okay, so the last news was on July 28th. They got the organic company said on Wednesday it signed a deal to acquire HGS Hydro, a chain of hydroponic garden centers. They did react off of this, and I mean, if you look at the daily, between last earnings where we pretty much sat flat, made a run, I made a whole spiel on this thing, and now, and I gotta be honest with you, GRWG has, and a lot of it's just tax stuff, but they have a lot of insider selling. And right now, for the first time in a long time, we actually have the TTM squeeze going off. The whole ribbon indicator looking like it wants to flip. On the chart, it looks great. And a lot of the times the chart sets up the earnings or the news. But I think that as long as they have stayed on the same path that they were last time, that it is more than likely that they are going to announce another acquisition of some sort. And they stay above the law by not dealing in anything cannabis related, but obviously catering to the cannabis industry, which has been expanding even since the last earnings. So I'm curious to see just as much as you are, but I would anticipate that they have a pretty good earnings. Yeah, so I mean, I like the company from a fundamental perspective first when I first bought it. So all right. Um, Pins, right? Did I get Pinterest already? I think I did. Yeah, I got Pinterest. All right. CP and G, got it. Ooh. All right, so it looks like you're building a falling wedge here. Be patient on this one. Let that thing build up. Maybe you go see 3450 and watch for that bounce there going into earnings. I guess that has already happened. Never mind. So you may end up seeing just a one more leg down, but this is a nice potential falling wedge reversal here. Um, so I would watch that one. It looks good though. It looks good to reverse. The price action is consolidating. All right. Uh, Thanks for chatting. Edit the other week. You were right about gathering shares, and it finally took off. Oh yuck! Let's do it. Antonio, pins and ORPH for tomorrow. My last plays from a whack Furu. Hoping I recoup some heavy losses just this once. Well, uh, let me say something that it's not, I understand where you're coming from, but make sure, and I'm not telling you what to do, but make sure you come in tomorrow with this is where you're starting from. And if you want to do well, you want to educate yourself along the way, then you I just don't come into the day wanting to get what you lost. Come back into the day looking to make money and start from here, right? Not following anybody, but starting to collect the information that you need, right? That people make seem just dauntingly intimidating. It is tough, right? But anything worth doing is not always easy at first. So, but and that goes back to what we talk about all the time, guys. The stock market is the largest observation or collective test of human behavior. And so when you become emotional, you are now a product of the market. In order to stay outside of that bubble, you have to pay attention to yourself because at the end of the day, it's you who is pulling the triggers, you who is doing the buying, the selling, the understanding, the everything. So, um, just come in tomorrow, take a deep breath. When you wake up, do your whatever it is that you do when you wake up, and just this is the day that you start doing it. So sorry for lecturing you or anything. I'm a candidate. It's the dad in me. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. So let's go. And that goes for any and everybody. I just want to get that out for anybody listening. So, okay. So I know going back to blame this sounds painful. I try to. GPNG got that one. I'm glad you did well on edit. Let's go take a look at edit. I want to see what happened. I probably still have my lines from it. Hey, let's go. Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. So you just accumulated shares down. Oh man, you're banking right now, my guy. It should be honestly, I do know now. Great job. Whoa. Hey. Some dude just sent me sunglasses on TikTok and they flew onto my face. That was wildly entertaining. Thank you for that. All right. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's finish up these requests. Thank you guys. So Brian says, question, hackers hit 600 million from crypto. Do you think that impacts anything for the crypto market? I think it might be the necessary evil. You know what I mean? Because a regulated market is a more trusted market. And in order to get regulations, you have to have somebody step in and regulate it. You know what I mean? So, for in my perspective, um, it may be bad or a FUD for a very minimal amount of time, but I think it will only initiate a heavier um, regulations or impose heavier regulations on certain things and protect. And honestly, if you look at crypto cybersecurity, whatever, I don't know. I mean, I could be talking about my butt, but whatever company does that is going to be rich. So you guys know a stock that does that specifically. I need to know about it. But I mean, all in all, I believe that you that will end up being the Marty or the catalyst, if you will, for crypto to become maybe more stable. Who knows? That's just my thoughts. All right, so all right, so we have Starbucks. Oh, I got blank. Starbucks. That's sick, man. I'm glad you got a good one on that one. Okay, so we're extending this support here. So we either tomorrow, because we flatlined here, dividends happened, yeah, August 11th. Okay, so set your alerts. Go down here to the hourly. Look at the range. Look at the range. Super tight. Look at the TTM. Super. Okay. Watch this one above 117 lightly, right? I wouldn't go in full size anywhere around there. Let's go ahead and delete these drawings to start fresh. All right. So downtrend, well respected here. Check it out. So watch this one as it climbs above 117. 20-day moving average here is at 117.33. Alert set. What does it take to get Starbucks up and going? Let's take a look at that. Okay, so let's go look at the hourly again. Where is this? Okay, volume. All right. And that is around 640,000 shares, 532,000 shares, 376,000 shares, 1 point something million shares. Okay, lots of shares. Okay, so I would likely go ahead and put my volume MA. Well, I don't like that. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to set an alert on my volume MA. Boom, bada bing. Once per bar. That's the hourly. Check that out. So, 117.45, 117.57. So that's going to be that major target there. Starbucks. So you got three major targets, zones. 117.57, 118.25, 208 EMA at 119. So alerts are set. All right. Let's see. What's up, Atlas? Swappy, I'll take a look at that one. All right. Hopefully that answers your question. I'm tempted to go above prices level as March 20th. Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing: if you just make sure you have a plan. If you decide that this is a good level for you and Baidu, just please have a plan. Have a hedge in place, have a contract, make sure that you're, whatever the case is, make sure you stay safe because you're dealing with a lot of FUD right now. Okay, so all right, pens. I actually toasted ORPH this morning for a really nice fill. I bought several hundred shares around, I think it was around 580 something. Let's see here. I got that one at 579, and then we were able to TP around $7. So that was a good play today. All right. Thank you, Brian, for those kind words. I appreciate that, man. Walmart. Oh, first let's do Goldman GS for Swappy. Holy shit. I don't know why I'm saying that. I think I saw on RIP today. Yeah, I mean, banks have been going crazy. Clean breakout here, bullish pattern. Nice volume on the breakout. That's exactly what you want to see. I imagine more or less a pullback, and I would just as clean as it stepped up. You'll likely see a pullback underneath this breakout level. So right here, if it can't hold up here, remember the Red Rover metaphor, then it will get pushed back down. So it needs the volume in order to step up higher. But above 415, then you could see Goldman Sachs take another leg up. Below this 208 EMA, which is on the 5 minute, but it's on 409.55, you could take that one down to 406. 4 hour, everything looks like it's bought and it's a bit oversold, but it could still continue to run. You see here that Goldman Sachs has shows you the considerable runs that it likes to go on. So that one is just volume evaluation and price action. So HD. Yeah, Adam. So anytime you're trading um banks, it's always important to have the financial sector nearby. That's the same thing with I tell you guys when we're trading AMD, make sure you guys have that SMH or some type of semiconductor ETF. So, all right, so let's go HD. Okay, that one has earnings coming up August 17th. So again, I can't say we're at such a pivotal price point, right? So you're slowly but surely creeping up, whole ribbon indicator creeping up. Uh, honestly, 342. Um, this whole range right here, you're getting close volume pop today, but you're still low volume. So honestly, anywhere around this high, if you reach that 341.55 or even 347, I would honestly be grateful for that move. Earnings though right around the corner. I can't call that one. So August 17th, that's when you're gonna see that volatility. So um alrighty. Let's see. HD. I just don't want to give you guys any like ID like it could totally cup and handle. So earnings could come and you could cup and handle, right? But we have to it goes with our rule. We only make money by reacting to the market. I can't tell you what earnings is going to do, and it's so close, and we're so close to that major resistance. We just got to be careful. So, oh yeah, Walmart. I got you, brother. Sorry, Walmart and then Baba, and then we're gonna shut it down. Walmart. Wow. Why did I look at that? Whee! This one's likely on its way. You got earnings right around the corner, and it's ran up into earnings. I might maybe I don't know. You might be priced in already. You're up against highs, so I mean, honestly, that again, that's an earnings stock. I would just set right. So you got this 157, 153.71. You've got this 153.36, and that's where you're projected today. So you could see one more leg up to 153.71, but you saw a pretty gnarly pullback here today. So anywhere below 149.25, and I would expect um, some downside there. But you do have a trend line here that you could draw here on this lower time frame, this hourly time frame here. Oops. So right off of that support. So you could see a considerable pullback and start to consolidate in this range. So, but let me, it's that just 1 second. All it takes, guys, is one good trade. If you guys have a company that you're watching today, just one good trade. Cat was a good example of a good trade. And that, guys, by the way, is why I scale into my trades. I avoided large losses on a few of the ones that faked out on us by that same strategy. And then I said that I was adding to cat, big stepper signaled cat. There was multiple entries on that one, and we both hopped in, and that happens for a couple of different ones. So, alrighty, guys. Well, let's see here. What else we got? Cybersecurity companies. Yeah, I want to see if there's ones relating to crypto, and I thought blockchain is supposed to be like crypto security in itself, but who knows? So let's do Baba. Yeah, this one's just waiting for any reason to go down. Honestly, it's holding this HMA, so if it loses 194, it's probably inevitable. 194, it's probably inevitable that it will go back down around 192.50. So, this one's not looking so hot. Volume's low, everything's low. Nothing good is no positivity coming from anybody. It is pretty far away from its downtrend. So you have the multiple gaps. So honestly, man, when Baidu, Baba, all these Chinese stocks are just look at this range. This is not great trading conditions. So no problem, Swampy. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Tomorrow morning is when the most report. Oh, I was about to say, Brian, I don't know if I can hit those requests. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Tomorrow morning is when we're really going to get into the thick of it. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Try and be on bright and early. Um, Hopefully somewhere between 8 and 8:30, a little bit earlier than usual. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning and update you guys on any lists that I'm watching. But other than that, I appreciate you guys' time. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow.